This is Valley News Live at noon.
Suspected tornadoes in west central Minnesota left behind a trail of damage and a lot of cleanup. The National Weather Service is out there now to confirm if the town of Fundraiser near Alexandria was hit by a twister. This drone footage shows major damage to homes. At least one building was destroyed. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office says downed power lines and trees blocked all roads leading into that town at one point. So far, no injuries have been reported. We now want to head on over to Summer Schnellbach with more on the damage that was reported in the area and also get an update on our weather for today. Good afternoon, Summer.
Good afternoon, Jordan. Thank you all for joining us today at noon. This is a mind-blowing picture from Lakes Country, South Turtle Lake in Otter Tail County. The roof of this lake home is gone. That's how strong these storms were that rolled through parts of the region and especially impacted Lakes Country yesterday. Thank you so much to Brad for sending in that photo. Here, the wind was so strong that trees were blown over and falling onto power lines, sparking fires. This is north of Keller, Minnesota. Thank you to Jimmy for sending in that photo. Quite a scary sight to see, I bet, as you're driving by. And heavy rain did some damage as well. 3.2 inches of rain reported in Foxhome, Minnesota. Lisa sent in this photo. That water washing over the road, making that road impassable. Looks a lot like some of our spring flooding we've had. Check out some of these rainfall reports that we've had. The highest, Carrington, North Dakota, a little over, or right at, I should say, 4.5 inches of rain. 3.81 in Aberdeen, South Dakota, Wheaton 2.91, Fergus Falls 2.31, and a few more reports courtesy of NDON. Staples, Minnesota 2.59, Parker's Prairie 3.27, 2.2 in Findlay. Jordan, we do still have some rain on satellite and radar today as that storm is slowly exiting and definitely weakening into Canada, and it's leaving behind a wake of wind. Check out some current winds coming up just in a little bit.
Yeah, you feel it when you walk out the door this afternoon.
Yeah.
Summer, thank you. We have new information this afternoon on the man who was found dead outside of an apartment building in Grand Forks. The police have now identified him as 27-year-old Daniel Sanger of Grand Forks. On Sunday, the police were called for a report of an unresponsive man outside of the building in the 1100 block of 25th Avenue South. Police say there is no obvious signs of trauma to Sanger, but the investigation is ongoing and the cause of death has yet to be determined. Also new for you at noon, a fundraiser is set to help the victims who were shot at a popular Fargo Mexican restaurant. Nearly 2 weeks ago, 21-year-old Lucia Garcia and her 7-month-old son Dominique were gunned down at Plaza Azteca by a man she had a relationship with. That's 24-year-old Malik Gill. He led authorities on a high-speed chase in Clay County where officials say he crashed and then later shot himself. Baby Dominique is expected to make a full recovery. However, Lucia is dealing with significant brain damage due to a lack of oxygen. The fundraiser is planned to take place at St. Henry's Catholic Church on Sunday, June 12th from 11 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon in the church basement. That's in Perham. There will be Mexican food, a bake sale, and more. Also new for you at noon, rides on the ATV took a dangerous turn for several people in Minnesota, including a young child. The first one was reported on Saturday in rural Boy River, Minnesota. The sheriff's office says a 15-year-old boy lost control of an ATV and ended up hitting trees. Authorities say he was wearing a helmet, but speeding does appear to be a factor. The second crash was reported on Sunday in Hackensack, Minnesota. Authorities say a 42-year-old woman was driving an ATV with a 3-year-old boy. The sheriff's office says that she hit multiple trees and the woman and the boy were thrown from that machine. Meanwhile, another crash was reported around that same time on Sunday in Bacchus. Authorities say a 56-year-old man lost control of an ATV and rolled the machine into a ditch that was partially filled with water. He was treated on scene and then had to be flown to a Fargo hospital with serious injuries. Funerals start in Texas today for the 19 children and 2 teachers killed in Uvalde, Texas. Amaria Jo Garza and Mayatai Rodriguez, both just 10 years old, will be laid to rest today. Meanwhile, we are learning more about one of the teachers who was killed. Eva Morales was finishing her 17th year of teaching. She loved doing CrossFit, hiking, and bonding with her loved ones in nature. As the shooting unfolded, a family member texted Eva in a group chat asking if she was okay. There was no response. Police say she and her co-teacher both died shielding the children from gunfire. Her family is now trying to figure out how to navigate life without her.
I want everybody to remember her and remember that she was a hero.
Miss Morales was 44 years old. She will be laid to rest a week from Friday after the funerals for all of her students. A group of bipartisan senators is working to find common ground on new gun control legislation now. Republican Senator John Cornyn and Democratic Senator Chris Murphy are meeting virtually today as they search for a basic framework on gun reform proposals. The two sides are expected to discuss closing background check loopholes and a red flag law that would allow judges to take guns away from people deemed to be a risk. In Canada, their prime minister is taking action. Justin Trudeau announced a new proposal to freeze handgun sales and implement a gun buyback program on military-style weapons. If that legislation is passed, Canadians who already own a handgun would be allowed to keep it. Coming up at noon, being the change. How one business owner is going green by investing in black and yellow. But next, it's a windy and dreary Tuesday out there. Summer Schnellbach lets us know when we'll start to clear things up a bit.
Valley